Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you guys like the CZ75 because today I have a special treat for you. And I'm going to show you a variant that isn't necessarily rare or valuable, but it is what I would consider a modern forgotten weapon. And this is the AR-24. Yes, ArmaLite did actually sell a CZ75 variant. Before I show you that though, we're going to do an unboxing. I have the complete package here. I'm going to show you a couple other designs just to give you a little bit of reference. So first, we have a more classic design. This is a military and police issue CZ75B, made in Czech Republic. Now, as you guys already know, the CZ75 is a very prolific design. It's been cloned. There's multiple variants. These have been used throughout many parts of the world and are very, very common among United States gun owners and shooters today. This particular example was made in 1998. It's an all-steel gun, single action or double action, frame mounted safety, frame mounted slide release. You guys probably don't know what this gun is, but this is again a military surplus CZ75B that's about 20 years old. Now there's another variant that's pretty common in the United States, and this would be the Tanfoglios. Now this is a Tanfoglio Witness P, specifically a Witness-P-S. So this is what you'd call the small frame. The grips are a little thinner here, or the polymer frame I should say. And yeah, this is basically a CZ75 for all intents and purposes, except for these are a little bit different, right? So not only is this frame polymer, but this also uses the Tanfoglio design. So when Tanfoglio started making these guns in Italy, they didn't exactly copy the original CZ75. So the main differences you're going to find is the way the trigger actually works. Not the trigger that you can interface with your finger here, but the actual internals and the way that the trigger springs work. This isn't a real in-depth CZ lecture, and most of you guys probably know more about the CZs than me, but the only reason I'm showing you guys these two guns right off the bat is just to establish for anyone that's not familiar with this gun that there are kind of two main different types of CZs out there. There's the Tanfo design, and then more of the classic CZ design, which really, let's face it, the classic CZ75 design is more of a SIG P210 design. That's definitely what this is a derivative of, and you can find many commonalities, and yeah, let's just say this has its roots in the SIG P210. I'd love to show you guys a P210, but I don't have $3,000 for one right now, so you guys can look those up if you're not familiar. But that would be the original CZ before they were CZ, if you will, the old SIG 210. But yeah, so we've got the regular CZ design, and we have the Tanfoglio, otherwise known as the Tanfo design. Now, for the start of the show today, this is a pretty cool kit, guys. So we're going to start off here. This is a gun that was actually marketed for sale in the United States by ArmaLite Inc. Came in a nice blow molded plastic case with the ArmaLite logo on both sides of it. And I'm going to do a quick unboxing for you guys and show you this gun, show you a few of the differences and some of the commonalities between these two variants. So let's see if I can get this out of the go on camera here. So this is the complete setup, guys. We have the gun in here, 3 magazines, a bottle of oil, some cleaning brushes, a manual, and even a spent cartridge. Alright. So, probably about 13 years ago or so, ArmaLite had the idea that they wanted to start marketing a CZ75 variant in the United States. And you can see it says Cal 9mm Parabellum, ArmaLite Inc., Geneseo, Illinois, USA. Made in Turkey. And we'll get back to that in 1 second. And then if we look on the right-hand side of the gun, we'll see the classic ArmaLite logo, and it says AR-24, and the serial number with a US prefix. We'll also note this is a solid steel gun. This is a hot forged frame with a milled slide on top. Now, they coated these in a magnesium phosphate finish, otherwise known as parkerizing. But they did a really, really nice job with the park. It's very smooth, really dark, kind of has a black look to it. Much darker than a lot of the gray parkerizing that we see on like mil-spec AR-15s, right? Like I said, all steel design. It has plastic grip panels, similar to the military and police CZ from Czech Republic. But you'll notice these are actually custom grip panels for ArmaLite. They have the little lion, the ArmaLite logo, the classic logo, on both sides of the grip panels. Now, when we compare it to the regular CZ75, we're going to notice some differences. Obviously, we're going to have similar sight arrangement, but just a little bit different sight picture. We're going to see that the slide serrations on the ArmaLite are a little bit different. Can you guys see that there? So definitely a little bit of differences in the rear slide, the rear portion of the slide. Both with the grip serrations, classic CZ75 is rather flat all the way down the top, but it has these ribs in here. And I think the goal of the ribs are to reflect any sunlight glare away from the shooter's eyes. You know, glare reduction basically. Well, notice on the top of the AR-24, we don't have that flat spot with the serrations. It stays rounded all the way down, except for when you get to the slide portion. Let me see if I've got the logo the right way. The very back of the slide where the sight would be, you can see they milled out a flat in kind of a diamond shape. And there's the ArmaLite logo once again. Now this has a 3-dot sight system. See if I can get that front sight to show up there. Yep, there you can see the front sight. There are 2 dots in the rear, but I would note they're very, very faint. They're just dimples. They didn't put any actual white on the rear dots, which that's a school of thought. Some people say it's a lot easier to pick up your front sight. They want you to focus on your front sight, so it's actually easier to pick up that white dot against the black rear notch. And I would actually agree. I don't particularly care for my sights to have the bold white 3 dots. I kind of like more of a notch with either, in this case, like kind of blackened out rear dots or no dots at all. I like to be able to look through, and I can get a lot more rapid sight acquisition this way. So in my opinion, this has great sights. But yeah, isn't that crazy, guys? ArmaLite actually imported a CZ75 variant under the name AR-24. Now, there were 3 different varieties of this, and this specific one is called the AR-24-15. So it's a full-size CZ75 clone, 15 round capacity. Get a good look at that. And this particular one that I have was brought into the country round about 2006. Probably came in sometime in the summer or fall of 2006. So these came into the country, you know, about 12, 13 years ago. They seem to have been sold for just a few years. Now, you could see these guns still being sold. I was looking at some old cached versions of websites all the way up, you know, 2011, 12-ish. But I think a lot of that was old stock that was getting sold off. But these were kind of a little bit of a blip. They came into the country for a few years. I'm not really sure if it's because they weren't very popular or because they had import, you know, problems or something, but these seem to kind of come in and kind of vanish. And again, I wouldn't call this gun rare by any means, but they're just simply uncommon and kind of forgotten about. You don't really see people, you know, showing these on YouTube too much. Don't really hear people talking about them. Besides this one, I've never seen another one in real life, so I thought you guys might kind of get a kick out of it a little bit. And it's kind of a classic CZ75 styling. I mean, as a whole, you know, all steel. It feels pretty much the same in the hand. There's a little bit more of a palm swell in the grip of the AR-24, which I think is quite comfortable actually, because it goes right into that open pocket area of your palm, and then it tapers right back down where you're actually reaching to put your thumb and your trigger finger. So these grips don't feel overly bulky at all. They're actually very comfortable. Now let's check the trigger out. Now, I explained to you guys earlier how there's the classic CZ design, and then there's the Tanfoglio. Here's where the Tanfoglio comes into play. Whereas this gun looks more like a classic CZ75, it's actually more of a Tanfoglio clone. Meaning the trigger system, the way the triggers, internals, and springs are set up, this definitely uses the Tanfoglio design. And actually, I noted earlier, this gun's made in Turkey, okay? And it's actually made by the Sarslamaz company. And they actually call the gun, I'll probably mispronounce this, but the Kilink 2000, Kilinc 2000. Now, what's interesting about this is you kind of have to just know that, because although it says made in Turkey, there's nothing anywhere on this gun that says Sarslamaz or SAR or anything like that. The only markings you see are ArmaLite markings. So when they had a contract with Sarslamaz to make these, they were very careful to keep this gun branded as basically only ArmaLite. So this is not something that says made by Sarslamaz and has an ArmaLite import mark, right? It actually has both. You can see the ArmaLite import mark is on this side. That's obviously an import mark, meets all the legalities. And then if you look at the actual branding of the pistol on this side, ArmaLite. So literally, besides made in Turkey, there's no mention of any other brand here. And it's kind of obvious as we go through a couple other things that ArmaLite wanted this to be branded as their own, right? Well, Sarslamaz actually made the gun. And Sarslamaz actually got their original blueprints to start making CZ variants, you know, commonly known as the SAR variants, from Tanfoglio. So this gun is going to look more like a classic CZ75, but it's actually, if you want to be technical, it'd be proper to call this more of a Tanfoglio clone than an actual Czech CZ clone. But again, with me not being an expert, for all intents and purposes, I consider this to be a CZ75. And besides a few of you aficionados and fanboys, you guys probably would just call this a CZ75 too. So let's check out the trigger pull. So here we have the original Czech military surplus, single action. It has a little bit of predictable take up here. Hits a wall, cleanly breaks. Great trigger pull, which is kind of what these guns are known for, right? Double action. Really nice. It doesn't stage a lot, just a nice smooth pull. You can stage it if you want. It's smooth enough to stage the hammer. However, in rapid shooting, you want to get that first shot off quick, you can just simply pull right through. So, great trigger, but I'm sure you guys aren't surprised. Now this Tanfoglio. Keep in mind, this is a polymer, so it's not exactly apples to apples, but this is the best example of a Tanfoglio I had to show you guys. Okay. Single action. A little bit of take up, probably about half as much as the Czech gun. Decent trigger pull, but just a little bit of mush. There's definitely a little bit of mushiness in this. I would say not quite as good of a single action trigger pull as the actual CZ gun. Double action. A lot longer. It just feels longer and heavier. So I would note this has a heavier double action. By far, it's not even close, than the actual CZ. If I had to pick, I think that this CZ75B has just really a better trigger than this Tanfoglio EAA Witness P. Now these are known as the EAA Witness P, guys, because they're actually brought into the country by EAA, even though Tanfoglio makes this in Italy. Now let's check the trigger on the ArmaLite here, the AR-24. Single action. It's starting to feel a lot more like this CZ75, to be honest. Really good trigger pull. I mean, excellent. I'm going to do that one more time just because it feels so good. I mean, this trigger pull is literally like to die for. Not quite 1911, but pretty good. All right, double action. Butter. A lot lighter double action than actually either of these two other guns. And I would note, this CZ75 has been well used. This is a police or military surplus turn-in, and not a new gun. Definitely had some rounds through it, triggers broken in. But it doesn't matter. This trigger is literally to die for, guys. I don't know if all SARS Lamaz have this good of a trigger, or if ArmaLite kind of spec'd a better trigger and said, hey, you know, we really want you guys to, you know, do factory trigger jobs on these. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can tell me, but this by far has the best trigger pull of any of my CZ75 variants, and it's not even close. Rather light, but smooth, perfectly smooth, double action, single action, just a teeny bit of take up, and then just click. So this is a really nice gun, guys. SAR did a really good job making these for ArmaLite. As far as the action of the slide goes, smooth, just like you would expect. You know, steel on steel. Like I said, hot forged frame with a milled slide. So this is a quality gun. Just take a few more pictures of it so you guys can see the different angles here. I think it is kind of cool in a way, actually, how they flatten out in front of the rear sights. And the ArmaLite logo is pretty cool, isn't it? I've always kind of been a fan of that lion that they use on there. Pretty nice. There we go. There it is. But yeah, it does not say SARS Lamaz anywhere on this gun. Kind of crazy. Now, here's what it comes with. It comes with, there's one magazine that's shipped in the gun. It also comes with a second magazine and a third magazine. And these are the red follower mags. I would note my my milsurp or police trade-in. I have no way of knowing which, guys. That's why I keep saying that. These were used by police and military in the Czech Republic. I would note it also has the same red follower. Okay? So, yeah. You can see the old trade-ins, a lot dirtier. This gun's seen some action over the years, which is pretty cool. It also came with a nylon bristle bore brush that's brand new. A little cleaning rod with a jag on the end, and a bore mop. Also includes, if I can get it out of here, a bottle of lubricating oil, and a couple spent casings. Test fire by Senor Comert, I guess, or Senor, I'm sorry, Senor Comert. That must have been the name of the fellow in Turkey that test fired this gun. It's got the model number there and the date of 7/14/2006. So the fact that it was made in July of 2006, I can only assume and guess, probably came in the summer or fall of 2006, right? Now behind the foam in the case, we also get an owner's manual. A nice color owner's manual made on glossy stock. And this is, again, one more thing where they definitely wanted to brand this gun as their own. We're going to see ArmaLite all over this manual, and that's the only brand we're going to see. ArmaLite Inc. Operator's Manual for the AR-24 series pistols. And then let's come down to the bottom here, and it's got all of ArmaLite's information. Their P.O. Box for Illinois, ArmaLite's phone number, ArmaLite.com, and this is also dated 2006. ArmaLite Inc. Back of the manual, big ArmaLite logo. Same thing, when we open up the manual, they start off with a prologue, you know. Different safety things, telling you the theory of operation. All the normal safety's your responsibility. Once we start getting into the manual, we'll find nice detailed colored pictures. And especially for 2006, this is a very high quality printed book. Detailed pictures and text to go along with it, explaining all your different procedures. Your manual of arms, right? Cleaning. And I would note, too, the model that they used. Very nice nails. She has a very nice job done with her fingernails. Really red fingernail polish. One of the first things I noticed, I'm like, wow, are her nails really red? You know, they're going to go over some maintenance procedures here, right? Field stripping it for cleaning. I think it's kind of funny how we have photo 12. We have photo 13. Photo 14 not used. They didn't just want to make this one 14 here. They had to put in a space holder for the unused photo number 14. Everything, guys, tells you how to detailed field strip, how to clean your magazines, and look at those nails. how red they are. But yeah, so we go all the way through this manual, guys. Shows you some troubleshooting techniques, etc. on the back. And yeah, you can read this manual cover to cover. And even at the very end, you know, on the bottom of the manual here, ArmaLite provides a full range of services in support of your pistol. Contact ArmaLite at, and then their phone number. So, you won't find SARS Lamaze or Turkey anywhere in this manual. In fact, if you didn't know about these guns, you would actually think ArmaLite made it, except for the one roll mark on the frame that says made in Turkey. And I'm sure they didn't want to put that there either. They just kind of have to, because that's federal law that you have to roll mark the country of origin when you're importing a pistol. But yeah, let me think if there's anything else I'm missing here, guys. A couple little things. If you look at the beaver tail of the military variant, this has more of a pronounced and upswept beaver tail, so we're definitely going to notice a difference there. But very comfortable, I might add. I mean, you can get as high as you want on your grip here, and you're not going to be in any danger of any kind of hammer bite. This beaver tail more than accommodates. I mean, I'm going so high up on the pistol here that my skin's actually scrunching over. Still not in any danger of hammer bite. Certainly no slide bite either, so I would actually say this has an improved beaver tail probably over the regular variant. The trigger's certainly better. The finish too. Whereas the Czech had this painted on finish that is really known to chip off. And we can see some spots over here where the paint's completely missing. This is a really nice magnesium phosphate finish, guys. I've seen parkerizing this nice here and there, but not really any nicer. This is a really, really nice parkerizing job. The barrel's also parkerized, and maybe I'll do another video field stripping if you guys are interested, but I think you guys have already seen these taken down, and I see the video's already at about 20 minutes, so don't want to keep you guys all day and all night necessarily, but yeah. It has a lot in common with an original CZ75B. I would note this B that I have has a little spot there for a lanyard loop, a little stud built into the frame. This does not, which is probably fine with most of us. I don't think many of us carry our pistols around with a lanyard nowadays, but hey, that's one difference. There's a number of little differences, guys, just the way the little scallops are, where the frame tapers in. You'll notice it's a little more elongated and a little thinner here on the CZ75. On the AR-24, not quite as long, but a little bit taller. So, yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I've tried to be rather thorough. If this video needs a part 2, we can do a part 2. Just let me know. But yeah, CZ75B, Tanfoglio Witness P, and then kind of a strange bird in this country, the ArmaLite AR-24. Beautiful gun, guys. If you ever get a chance to get one of these, I would recommend it. I mean, I can't overemphasize enough how nice this trigger pull actually is. I mean, this trigger pull is just beautiful, guys. Nice and smooth. Really neat little gun. Kind of like I said, I don't want to say rare, but just kind of, you don't see them anymore. Now, here's the thing. If you guys are looking for one of these and waiting for them to come back in the country, I will note that if you go on SARS Lamaze's website, there is a new version of this that has some updated features. Looks a little bit different, but they are still making this gun under a little different model number, and there's hopes and anticipation of these actually being imported into the United States. Now, I'm sure this model will never be imported again. This is the original AR-24, but once they can get things figured out with the importer, from what I understand, you will get a new version of this. And if you go to their website, you'll see the new version of the AR-24 actually does say SARS Lamaze on the slide, and it's definitely more of a co-branding effort. Whereas this gun, they did their darndest, except for the Made in Turkey roll mark, which was required by federal law, to basically brand this as their own gun. So when people tell you AR stands for ArmaLite Rifle, you might want to remind them, just to be a pain in the butt, you know, tell them, well, it doesn't just stand for ArmaLite Rifle. AR also stands for AR-24 CZ75. Alright guys, hopefully you found the video helpful. Hopefully you guys like this variant. I just thought it's something I'd share with you guys instead of keeping it to myself, because there's just not a whole lot out there. So until next time, thanks for watching and have a good one.